Well, just like any week, you want to be able to put the past behind you, whether it's good or bad. This week we did play well. We were able to take care of the business that was in front of us. Again, I thought we handled the week good and the weekend good, even after they knew that had gotten the West side taken care of. They still were able to come back out on Saturday and take care of business. I thought the pitchers did a good job of being able to handle the short week because everything's been moved up. We got it moved up again this week. So I thought they did a good job of that. I thought our hitters did a good job, and I just thought we played good baseball all weekend. Now what we've got to do is let that go. They got a day of rest in Sunday, which I think they really needed it today. They were able to work out this morning, and then tomorrow we'll have our regular Sun Belt Conference practice time, and then Wednesday night at 7:30 we'll get back to work again. So again, we just got to put the past behind us, and be ready for Wednesday night behind Schmitty to try to get game one under our belt. Questions you might have?
How important was the pitching performance that you got on Sunday or Saturday rather, but the third game, which has been a struggle over the last month or so? How important was that for Nick Psychic your ball club, and what you can
It was big for him and us. He actually had one of his best outings. I thought he was best all year versus Mississippi State, but he was very good again. I think he had 7 strikeouts and no walks. That was the key in that outing. So that was big for us. We hope to pick up Jack Burke, but we don't know that for a fact. So because he's day to day, so him being able to take that third spot for us and handle it like he did was really good.
Coach, what's the advantage, if any, to hosting this tournament?
Well, I think some of the advantages are one, you at home in the sense of you can stay in somewhat of a routine. I mean, today at 2 o'clock, the field becomes the Sun Belt Conference's field, so some of your routines are broken. So you get to sleep in your own bed. Those kind of things are good. You don't have the travel involved coming off the last weekend series, and we were able to get some rest. I think those are advantages. Sometimes those advantages you have to handle them properly simply because they have a lot of family and a lot of friends here. So, trying to stay focused on what you need to stay focused on. I think it's the big challenge versus, taking off from here and getting into a hotel. There's not a lot of family and friends where you're at, so you can kind of keep them close together. But I do believe there's some advantage. Plus, we get our fans. I was glad this weekend, if you look throughout the season, we kind of struggled to score runs here throughout the season. Overall, we struggled to score runs, but we did do a better job on the road as the season got going of scoring. And this weekend, I was glad to see us finally be able to score more runs because I thought that's a good lead-in to the conference tournament and being able to play in front of our fans. And I think they just did a good job of the first half. I think they got off the process and got on results and were trying to win, which is what the outside world tells you to do. And I think it took them some time to get off of that, get back on the process versus results, and then just learn how to compete. And if you learn how to compete every night out, then winning becomes a byproduct of competing. When you're trying to win, winning's not a byproduct of that. So I thought they did a good job of learning in the second half just to compete and don't worry about winning and stay on the process. So that's our goal in this tournament, is to try to stay with that script of coming out Wednesday night and competing versus worrying about trying to win or getting back on some type of result, and just make sure we stay on the process that it's going to take to try to win this tournament.
Is there a difference, kind of piggybacking off of that, is there a difference in strategy in being a home versus away? And also, is there a difference in strategy in being a 2 seed and having that bye versus having to play on the first?
Well, I think having somebody play before you is important. I think that's definitely important. Whether they throw their number 1 arm or not, at least they play in. So I think you get a somewhat of an advantage there because of the heat. Outside of that, everybody goes back to 0-0, except the first 4 teams that play. 2 have to go home, and 2 are going to get in with a win. So they're going to be feeling good about themselves. So the 2 that win are going to be feeling good about themselves. The 2 that lose are going to head home. So you're picking up 2 teams that feel good about themselves, and then you're going to pick up the other teams that are back to 0-0. So it's kind of like spring training every year in Major League Baseball when you are opening day. There's never a down feeling in that because they're all undefeated. So that's the biggest strategy part of this is that everybody's goals ultimately, unless who's protected themselves with the RPI, they have to win this. So they all have a why. Playing somebody that has a why sometimes is a difficult thing. So everybody has a why because they all still have their goals in front of them. You still can win this conference tournament. If you win that, your name's going to come up Memorial Day, and you're going to be off to a regional. So the biggest strategy part of this is to try not to play different, to try to stay on what you were doing unless you're coming off, an end of the year run where you lost your last 5 or 6 out of 7 or something. You probably want some type of change. But if you've been playing well, the biggest thing you want to do is try not to change anything and spook your players and make them think that you're either uptight or tense or we got to do this, we got to win this. I mean, they know what they have to do, and it's just continuing to try to go out and just flat out compete. So, this league has been tough all year. It's a good league. It's well coached. All those kids' goals are out there in front of them to get to Omaha, and there's only one way you're going to take that goal away from them is somebody's going to have to lose 2 times before that goal gets taken out of them. So because of that, you can't underestimate anybody in here. In tournaments, I never underestimate anybody, no matter what their record is, how they've been playing, nothing, because everybody goes back to 0-0, and everybody gets refocused back on a goal, and that's to have your name come up on Memorial Day and try to get to Omaha. You can't get to Omaha if you don't win this tournament unless you're somebody that's protected yourself with the RPI.
Coach, do you feel protected?
Huh?
Do you feel protected?
No. I think we need to do what we set out to do was flip the second half and learn how to compete and compete to the end. And when that's over, we'll take the blinders off the old mule and take a look at where we are. But right now, we can't take the blinders off the mule. Nope.
Coach, do you believe your team's playing its best baseball heading into the Sun Belt Conference tournament?
I think we're playing good because we're learning how to compete. We're competing versus playing. I think there's 2 different things. I don't mind playing against a team that's playing. I don't like playing against people that compete because, again, winning's a byproduct of competing. And what I do like is that we're learning how to compete. Winning's just a byproduct. Like we didn't win Friday and go, okay, we did enough. Okay, we didn't win Saturday and go, okay, we did enough. We won Sunday. Okay, we did enough. They kept coming back out each night and competing again and let the next day go. Those are the greatest teams, the teams that really are only here for one reason. They have throwdown with them and they want to compete. That's what they love to do. There's 2 kind of teams. I've coached them before. One likes the attention that getting in this arena brings them, and then another one likes to just throw down. When you can learn to get to the one that just wants to throw down, then you're going to have something because they want to compete. A true competitor, just like Coach said a minute ago, we'll play anybody, anywhere in the parking lot. I mean, no matter. You name it, we'll show up and we'll be there. That's true compete. You don't worry about anything else, just worry about competing, and then the byproduct of that is winning. So I like where we're at. I don't think we can look up. I don't think we can look back. We have gotten off results and gotten off trying to win, and we're learning how to compete. And that is coming at a good time because we will have to have some competing here. It's going to be hot. It's going to be long. I don't know who's on all conference or not, but like Jeff told me, 26 pitchers were put up for all conference, man. I mean, that's 26 guys that were put up for first team all conference, man. I mean, this league is tough. You're going to have some competing throwdown to get through this. So I do like where we are, but it's not time to look up. We haven't really accomplished much. Finishing second in the West, woohoo. I don't, and I'm glad compared to where we were, but that's not our standard at all. I mean, looks good because we started out so bad, and I'm not trying to diminish anything, but it's just not our standard. We got to get back to our standard. But considering where we were and getting to there, I'm proud of our guys of not quitting halfway up the mountain. And now we've leveraged ourselves. We at home. We did the best thing that we could possibly do with what we had in the first half, was to win the West, which I'm glad we did. Now what we got to do is just keep competing throughout this weekend and try to get this done.
You mentioned Jack Burke possibly coming back, and obviously you have some depth now starting in the bullpen. How important is that when you have to play several games in a week in this tournament style?
Well, there's two things that happen. Pitching is so important, and pitching depth. And then as you get going into this, we've seen each other so much. You've seen everybody 3 times already. Scouting reports, everything else. It's not like, Batty and Perrin throwing in the Houston Classic where they don't even know who these kids are. Now, everybody knows everybody. Tendencies are out there. So it becomes dangerous. You have to either pitch against your chart, hit against your chart, or as pitching gets thin, you hopefully have a team that can maybe score some runs. That's why scoring runs down the stretch for us had to be important, because there's some teams in here that can score some runs. And the longer they stay in the tournament, the more dangerous they get as pitching starts to go down. And I think defense is a premium, which I think is what's been good for us all year with quality defense, because you're going to have to get your pitcher off the field in 93 to 95 degree heat with this humidity. You make an error here and make him throw 10 extra pitches to get out of that inning, he might get out of that inning. That's going to start to add up on you. So it's very important to get off the field when you can get off the field in this heat, especially for somebody like us with our catching situation. And of course, the pitchers. You don't want them throwing a 20-pitch stress inning over 2 errors when he could have had a 9-pitch inning, but now he comes off with a 19-pitch inning. You add those 10 up. Don't seem like much, but you add that up over 3 innings, that's 30 pitches. In the major leagues, they average anywhere from 11 to 15 pitches an inning. So that's 2 extra innings that kid could have thrown, which now your bullpen has to start eating those innings up. So I think defense is real important in this heat, and we do play good defense. So that's good for us.
Rotation the same? Stick with the same rotation?
Yeah, I don't see us changing anything. I think it's going to be Schmitty and Harris and Lee, and go from there.